other 400 killed the other son. Right? Because they double, that's the Jew, now that's Jewish culture. So this brother is probably the younger brother. He's saying to Jesus, Master, tell my brother to share the inheritance, right? You're supposed to share. Now notice what Jesus says. Verse 14, man, who made me a judge or a divider over you? What he's saying, who made me a judge or who made me a lawyer? That's not my job. Now here's the parable, verse number 15. And he said unto them, all the people that are following Jesus, take heed and beware of covetousness. For a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. Jesus says, here's the lesson. Here's what you need to be careful of. Okay? Life is not about possessions. There's things more important than things and money and possessions. Then he gives a parable, verse number 16. Verse 16 down to verse number 21, Jesus gives a parable. Here's the parable we study today. And he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And he thought within himself, what shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruits. And he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns, I will build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and all my goods. Here's what he says. The parable says, here's this man, he's a rich man. And he has a field, and the field was able to yield fruit. So he has surplus. He had a blessing. Here's what he says. I've got so much goods, what shall I do? I cannot fit everything in the storehouse, so here's what I will do. I'm going to destroy my storehouse. I'm going to build a bigger storehouse so I can have more things inside. I can put more things inside the storehouse. He says, verse number 19, and I will say to my soul, soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thy ease, eat, drink, and be merry. Here's what he said. I'm going to have so much in my storehouse, I can have it there safely for many years, and this time I can relax. I can be at ease. I can eat, I can drink, I can be merry. Now today, I can relax, enjoy life. Now most of us are right there in verse number 19. I work overseas, I work, I save, and if I can have enough, I can eat, drink, relax, and be merry. We are all in verse number 19. But Jesus said, be careful. Be careful of covetousness. Now look what he says here, verse number 20. But God said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Now, when Jesus calls somebody a fool, it's a pretty strong word. A fool is a person that is foolish. Now, I've never called somebody a fool. I may say someone is foolish, but I would never call them a fool, because that would be a word that you're looking down upon someone, saying something negative. Now, Jesus is saying in this parable, this person is a fool. Now, if Jesus is going to say that, I think there's something we should learn, because it's a strong word to call somebody a fool. It's a negative word. So what is Jesus trying to teach about this person, about this lesson on money and possessions? Okay, why would Jesus call this person in the parable a fool? Why would he say this person is foolish? Why would he say this person don't know anything? He doesn't know anything. He's a fool. I want to give you three thoughts today why Jesus called this person a fool. Look with me back in verse number 16. This person is called a fool because he forgotten something. He forgotten something. What did he forget? Notice what it says in verse number 16. The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. Now, what brought forth plentifully? It was the ground. It wasn't the man that brought forth plentifully. Now, here's what we're saying. Some people believe all that I have, all that I possess, all the money, all the property, everything that I have, I made it myself. Jesus is not, in the parable, Jesus is not praising this person for his ability, for his wisdom, for his intellect, for his hard work. He's praising not the man. He says the ground is what brought forth plentifully. Now, can I give you an example? You have a field back home in the Philippines, and you said, I'm gonna grow. I may grow rice, I may grow fruits, I may grow sugarcane. I'm gonna grow something. So here's what you do: you buy seeds. and you plant the seed, and you toil, you work, and you make sure you water it. You work hard. Everything you do for the field, you make sure there's water, you make sure there's sunshine. But can I say this? It doesn't guarantee that it will grow. You can plant, you can water, you can give sunshine. There's no guarantee that it will grow. Who's the one that makes it grow? It is God. So here's what he said. Look at verse 16 very carefully. The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. It wasn't the man that brought forth plentifully. It was the ground. But this person thought, I did it. My wisdom, my ability, my hard work, I'm able to have plentifully. I'm able to have a lot of fruits. But the problem is not him. The problem is the ground that was gave him the fruit. So here's what he forgot. He forgot to, number one, that God is the provider. God is the provider. Now, I give you an example. We just had Mother's Day. I remember when I was a kid, I had a gift for my mother for Mother's Day. I was in elementary school, and we had a small little flower pot about the size of my hand. And the teacher said, here's some seeds. And we put it in the flower pot, a small one, and then we decorate the outside of the flower pot. And then on Mother's Day, we give it to the kids. We bring it home, and we give it to my mother, and then for Mother's Day. And my mother grew up here in Hong Kong, so you have to understand, there's no gardens here. You know that there's not many gardens that people own. So when my family was in America, the house that they had a garden. So my mom was happy. The plants, that little flower pot that I gave her, she took that and she put it in the garden immediately.